can go anywhere in the country. Nothing is like Punta Cana. Right. Punta Cana is home.
If it's any island or any place you want to retire, just start getting your ducks in order. A lot of people don't know that I surprise them every time I come down here.
I've built my fortune here through real estate.
And the way you run your operation down here, it's just perfect. When the chips are down, we all come together though. In Dominican Republic right now, there's nothing to be afraid of. You drive fast, yet you're always late.
It's a thing. It is a real phenomenon.
We're making things happen down here.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Punta Cana Podcast. My name is Cheryl Henderson, your guide to Punta Cana living. And today we're changing it up a little bit because we generally focus on expats who live in Punta Cana, do business, or work in Punta Cana. And today we're focused on an expat or a future expat who is still in his transition in his journey to becoming an expat here in Punta Cana. We have today on our show Steve Edwin, who I know as Steve Love.
Thank you for having me. Yes. Good afternoon to everyone. Steve Love here, Steve Edwin. Like Cheryl mentioned, it's just a pleasure to be here. It's just an absolute pleasure to be here. I knew I was going to be here one day. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You knew it?
I knew.
On the Punta Cana Podcast?
On the Punta Cana Podcast. Actually, before it even became a podcast, we were talking about podcasts, right?
Yes, we were.
Right. Thanks for the invite. And let's have a good time today.
Okay, excellent. So you are here because of many things. Yep. You are a veteran. Let's start with that, which I love because I have new projects for veterans. You are an investor.
Yes.
Which I love. You have also invested in Boardwalk Developments.
Yes, I have.
You and I have been friends on Facebook forever, even before we met. I knew the name Steve Love because we were friends on Facebook. And then later, when we're signing contracts, it was like, oh, his last name isn't Love.
Right. You signed him Steve Love.
I know. I was telling everybody,
change everything.
We had to change everything because he had a real last name. So that was when we started talking about that. Steve Love is your name that you use because of this beautiful voice that we're hearing.
Steve Love. I got that name back in 1995 when I started radio, but we can get into that a little later. Steve Love was given to me on while doing radio, not for any particular reason. I wasn't doing like a late night love show or anything like that, but it was just given to me by one of the reggae artists from Jamaica. That he just saw me and he heard me and he said, you know what? Instead of going by Steve Edwin, your name now is going to be Steve Love, and I've been that ever since.
Perfect. That's a beautiful story. And you have a Caribbean background. Speaking of Jamaica, tell us about your background.
I was born in St. Lucia, way back in the early '70s. You guys wouldn't. I don't think you guys were around then. But
I was around in the early 70s. Nobody else that is in this room probably, but I was definitely around back in the early 70s.
And then I spent a few years in St. Lucia. I spent actually 4 to 5 years in St. Lucia, and then I moved to Barbados. So I actually claim both, and then I moved to America, the U.S. in 1979, which I moved to Hartford, Connecticut at the time. And then the rest, as we can say, is history because, so much has happened between then and now. I consider myself blessed for that journey because any left or right turn could have put me on a whole new trajectory,
Yes.
So I'm glad I'm here right now. So I'm here with you, right?
Yes, yes. So how does a young boy born in St. Lucia by way of Barbados to the United States Army and now a transition to Punta Cana, how did that happen?
I can tell you this. A lot of caring people around me. I went to good schools. I had a strict parent here. Both my parents are still alive, but I have a strict parent here, and she just kept us on the right track the whole way. A lot of distractions along the way. Don't get me wrong, because as many of us, our stories. I mean, I was in the inner city, and some people just took it upon themselves to say, hey, you look like, back in the day, they used to say, you look like you got a head on your shoulder. And then they urged me to leave my environment.
Yes.
And which I got with a few friends, and we signed for the military. By the way, your father was in the Army, right?
Yes, enlisted at 17.
Right.
Young.
But I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
And I joined. The reason why I say your father was in the Army, because I wasn't in the Army. I was in the Air Force.
Okay.
But actually, I talked to your father. You know
Yes,
that, right?
yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
did talk to him in one of those things that we
Tours.
had. Those visits that we had down here. But myself, in high school, we had something called the Delayed Enlistment Program. I don't know if your father talked to you about that. It's called Delayed Enlistment Program. It's one of those things. It was you've decided to go into the military, so you sign now up to a year prior.
Wow.
And then, the recruiter will check on you throughout the year, and make sure you're still on board to go. And I stuck with it. I signed with a few friends, but I was actually one of the only ones to go.
Oh.
Right. I was one of the only ones to go when it was all said and done.
Okay. And what urged you, considering the other friends didn't go, what urged you to just make that move?
That's a good question, actually. It was probably my sense of adventure. I wanted to see the world.
Yes.
I wanted to just basically have a change, and that was probably the best thing that has ever happened to me. I mean, it's funny you mentioned a little boy from the islands. I'll tell you some of the things that I did in the military. I joined the military when I was 18 years old.
The Air Force.
I joined the Air Force. Yeah, I joined the Air Force when I was 18 years old. Yeah, nothing against the Army, the Navy, the Marines.
I know you guys have nicknames though. I've been in the veterans tours. There are nicknames. I'm learning.
I tell you what, when the chips are down, we all come together though.
Of course.
We all love each other.
Of course.
So we're all brothers and sisters in the military. Yes. I went into the military, and when I was 18 years old, I joined a career field called aerospace physiology, and that entailed altitude chamber. This is a little kid from St. Lucia now. Altitude chamber, dive chamber, which is hypobaric chamber. I operated both of those. I trained undergraduate student pilots just leaving the academy in flight school down at Laughlin Air Force Base in Del Rio, Texas. I trained them on self-aid, survival, parachuting. I jumped out of planes.
Really?
Jumped out of planes. I've flown planes.
Whoa.
This is the same little kid now.
Right.
Right. So it was a big deal for me. So I'm happy I made that decision. Yeah.
Wow. And how many years did you
I did 4 years in the Air Force. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And now you're a veteran.
Yes. I got out of the Air Force. I kind of messed around for a little bit with my own business because they give you a can't lose attitude when in the military. You can do anything you want. So I started my own business, a delivery business. I started a delivery business before this Amazon thing was around.
Okay.
I started a delivery business long before this because I knew there was something in delivery. So I had a few vans, had a few trucks, and I ran that for a while, for a few years, until I got into radio in 1995.
And how did you end up in radio? Did you always have this voice, or did you develop it over the years?
I don't know, but I was working with a gentleman. I'm going to mention his name. His name is Tommy Peart. I was working with a gentleman one time, and he was going to be given a new radio show. I guess one was going to become vacant. And he was given a show, and he said he didn't want to talk on the mic. And he had heard me speak and said, "Do you mind to?" I said, "What am I going to say? I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm going to introduce a song. I don't know." And he said, "No, I kind of like your voice. I think you'll be good on radio." So I started. And so 1995, we started, and the show was called Reggae Showcase. It was a reggae show.
Reggae Showcase?
A reggae Showcase,
okay.
Yep. Saturdays, every single Saturday, on one of the local radio stations up in Hartford, Connecticut.
So did you have that accent, that Jamaican, hey man?
No. As a kid, I came up here as a kid, so we lost that accent fast.
Okay.
And you had to lose it fast to mingle around these American kids.
These American kids.
Right.
Yeah, I actually couldn't tell that he was from the islands. And normally I'm very good at picking up accents because I work with people from all over the world. So people can talk to me and I can actually tell where they're from.
Right.
But with you, I could not tell that you were from the islands. And that actually surprised me.
It depends. Every now and then, if an island person is around, you tend to kind of morph into, that
island
voice.
speak.
But yes.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing that a lot of people don't know, that I surprise them every time I come down here, I speak Creole.
You do?
I do. Yeah.
So greet me in Creole.
I say, bonjour.
Bonjour. That sounds French.
Yeah.
That's not Creole, that's French.
Yeah, that's our Creole. A lot of the Haitians that's around here, we actually speak the same language.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, that
how
is
crazy
something
is that,
really
right?
Hey.
The thing is, they're so surprised when they hear me. They think I'm either Dominican or I'm American, this and that. And I say, yeah. And I say hello to them, and I ask them questions, different things, and they're like, what? Mm-hmm.
That could be a part of the connection also to this country. There's always something that pulls us.
Could
and
be.
Gives us a
Could
connection.
be. Could be. My connection came in a different light, though. My connection came through my wife. Yes. You remember the delivery company I told you about?
Yes.
That I had? Right. Delivering one day, I stopped by a law firm to pick up a package, and then I saw her. Contrary to popular belief, I did not meet her here in Dominican Republic. I met her up in Connecticut.
Because she's Dominican.
She's Dominican.
Right.
Right. So we met, and we've been together for 24 years.
Wow.
We've been together for 24 years.
Wow.
And
So you delivered a package and you left with a package.
3 packages. Got 2 yes, right, 3 packages. So after we got together initially, that was my first time in Punta Cana. We came down to Punta Cana way back 24 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, we came back down to Punta Cana. It wasn't like I was trying to gauge Punta Cana against any other thing or its growth or anything like that, because it was what it was back then, But now it's a whole different ball game.
Yes.
Now there's just buildings everywhere, and people told me that this place just started kicking off about 15 to 20 years ago.
Yeah, like maybe 18 years ago.
About 18, right? About 18 years ago, right? Right when you got here, right? You started it all. Yeah. So I wish I had. I'm investing now. I wish I had invested back then. My mind really wasn't on investing back then, but when I came down here, I said, eventually I'm going to end up. That's everybody's dream. If you're from the Caribbean, that's your dream. Go to America, go to Canada,
islands.
go to Europe or whatever, make the money and go back to your island. So, I'm coming back to an island. This is where I think I'm going to be after I retire.
Excellent. And you're planning to retire fairly soon, right?
My retirement is I'm in law enforcement in Connecticut right now, and which is also hazardous duty. And usually in most career fields that are hazardous duty, just like the military is hazardous duty, and I hope we all know that. Yep. And you can retire after 20 years in the military, so that's hazardous duty. So I'm going to retire. I'm in my 20th year right now as we speak.
Congratulations.
So within 1 year, I'll be retiring. And so I'm just kind of tying up loose ends right now and making, I sold my old house about 2 years ago. Kind of, taking it easy.
Okay, taking it easy. These are some of the top reasons you should stay at Hotel Las Flores in Punta Cana. The beach. That's one of the nicknames for the wellness area here at Hotel Las Flores. This is where you can enjoy yoga, meditation, and all types of feel-good activities. Namaste. I love the water. And here at Hotel Las Flores, we have a prosperity fountain. This is where you can come and attract abundance. And I love the way Christopher makes the cocktails. Pina colada is my favorite. Look at this. The flowers, the garden, the pool, the tropical ambience. Need I say more? You can get relaxation and holistic massages with Nati. The beds are so comfortable. You sleep like a baby. And the views are spectacular. We'll see you soon at Las Flores Hotel in Punta Cana. You come and visit here quite often. You're visiting regularly.
Right. I was here last week.
I know.
2 weeks ago.
Didn't want to say that he's here every week.
Right.
He's kind of not already an expat.
Right.
You're working your transition and you're on your transition plan. What would you say to people who are thinking to do it? Because many people just make that plunge. Like for me, it was like 6 months, I'm out of here.
Right.
Didn't think too much about it. With you, it seems like it's been a longer planning process. What would you recommend to someone who is sitting at home thinking about it versus making a quick decision and jumping in, or taking the time to plan everything and prepare everything? What would be your take on what you might recommend to someone?
If you're planning to come down to the island and this is going to be your last stop, basically, like you plan to move down here, that's easy. People are at different stages in their lives, right? I'm lucky enough to have a 20-year career, retire,
at a young age, I think. Right? I
Young.
think, right.
We're the same age, or I think I'm older. He's retired.
Yeah, I'm going to be retiring. Right.
Yeah.
So all I tell people is to plan it out.
Yes.
If you're thinking about, and it doesn't even have to be Dominican Republic. So if it's any island or any place you want to retire, just start getting your ducks in order as it relates to your commitments, your finances, your situation as far as what you owe and how long. Visit the place for sometimes a short period and sometimes an extended period of time to see if you really, because Dominican Republic, the sun is out all the time.
Yes.
And some people are not sun people. They are island people because they see it, it's fun on TV and everything, but the sun is out all the time down here. And, it's one of those things where you have to want it. And to make it even easier to move down here, you can make it a part-time thing if you want.
Yes.
You can keep your, I think I'm going to keep my house back home. And I'm going to be down here full time because I have kids that can keep the house. And we have some place to go to back and forth if we want to, but we're primarily going to be here. But I would say visit here a lot. Know someone that knows the area. Get to know someone that knows the area. Get an agent. Cheryl. Get an agent and, be shown some properties if you want to do a long-term thing like I'm doing right now. You find a property that you like. You put down on a lot of people. A lot of people for some reason they're against new construction. I happen to like new construction, because it gives you the opportunity.
You've done well with new construction,
of course,
right?
Of course. The new construction down here, it's like money in the bank. New construction down here, especially if you're a developer, Cheryl, is top notch, and you want your business taken care of. You do a new construction, small down payment, and you have down here in some cases you have 2, sometimes up to 3 years on a new construction if you really want it.
Yes.
So that's what I did. I think I did like the 2-year plan, but I did that a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things that's working out for me. So by the time I'm retired, I'll have another place paid off.
Yes.
And that's all. It's something as simple as that.
Yeah, and that's really great. That's actually a part of retirement planning is investing in a property, an income property
Right.
that will generate income for you month after month, day after day, depending on your strategy.
But even if you don't want to be down here, a lot of people are afraid of just buying a place and allowing the place to be rented out. Airbnb is a big thing right now.
Yes.
And in Dominican Republic right now, there's nothing to be afraid of because everything from plumbing to your management to your electricity to your cable to everything is covered. As a matter of fact, it's to the point where, you've got an Airbnb down here. They don't even have to call you. Just check your account every month, basically.
Exactly.
That's what it's come down to right now.
Yes.
Just check your bank account every month, and that's it. Paid. You've got the management.
Yes.
You've got everything taken care of down here. So that's what I would encourage folks, especially military. Like I said, military being hazardous duty, they do that 20 years. This is an awesome place to be. Mm-hmm. And I encourage everyone, especially with the military. You don't have to really push them because we're daring to begin with,
Yes.
and adventurous. So we're gonna do it. So I encourage all of my brothers and sisters in the military, think about Punta Cana, think about coming down here, Dominican Republic on a whole, think about coming down here, think about taking one of the tours. When's the next tour? Do you know it offhand?
We have tours actually every month. So depending on when you actually watch this episode, we'll put the link in the description so that you can connect to the calendar and see when the next tour is coming up. Every month.
Every single month.
Yes, we're doing them every month.
And the tour is one of those things where I was a part of from the very beginning.
The first?
Yes.
The very first?
I was a part of from the very beginning. And to this day, you see, it's like a community down here because to this day, I still get calls from veterans all over the world that has invested here and just asking me just little things about, hey, should I do this? Should I do that? Hey, what, the management company, who should I go with? This, and everything is just connecting. And we're making things happen down here. So
Yes.
It's a big deal. It's a very big deal. And it's easy.
Yeah, and I can tell you that I'm so happy to know you and to be working on this project together, the Veterans Project.
Yes, yes.
We've been friends for a long time on Facebook, but we've only recently physically met each other.
Right, and that was, I can tell a story about that. And it was crazy because when I first started coming to Punta Cana, a little later on when I came down one time, and then I started to see the billboards. I didn't know that was like a targeted project that you had. You know, it worked too. It worked.
It works. The billboards work.
Oh yeah, it worked. Hey, that lady on the billboards. Yes, you got to get to know her. I saw the billboards and I said, you know what, I want to get to know her. So I looked you up and I found out your information. Wait a minute, she's American, doing things down here like that. Got to meet her. We talked on the phone a couple times. One time we were in Santo Domingo, and I said I was coming into the Punta Cana area, and you said, oh, you know what, we're having a birthday party for my husband. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, and she said, why don't you come to the birthday party? Mm-hmm. I said, oh my God, there's 4 of us. And she said, yep, everybody come. And the thing is, the meeting was so awesome because it seems some of my people knew some of your people.
Yes.
They knew the entertainer that was on there. We had a great time.
It was really great.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome.
It was really great. I was surprised because I thought, well, listen, catch up with us. We're going to be doing this.
Yes.
If you want to, swing by because I know that you were in and out.
Yes.
You come in and out quite frequently,
Yes,
but it's always quick.
Right.
So you showed up with your family and we had a really famous artist there.
Yes,
We enjoyed the party and enjoyed the show, and it was like instant family almost. We just we knew each other since we were little kids.
Yes, it was all
and
set.
that was really nice. And so working on these projects and investing together and doing this together, who knows, maybe when you get down here you can be a host for some of the podcasts, because we did talk about that.
We did. And who knows what can happen.
Yes.
Who knows?
And you're also starting a business here, because that's also a part of what we do is showcase business owners. You're launching a new business. Tell us a little bit about that.
You know, I'm glad you asked that question, because when I got down here initially, we stayed in not the first time, but when we started coming down to Santo Domingo, Punta Cana, we would venture off to Barbados, different places, stay at Airbnbs. You know, right in the beginning, I wanted more information on things happening in and around the area. You go into an Airbnb, you would see a small book on the Airbnb. It would have, back then, there wasn't even Wi-Fi at the time, but now you would have the Wi-Fi passcode. You would have, this is the number for the manager, or this is maybe 3 or 4 things on it. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to change the experience of the visitor, the Airbnb visitor. So I created what is called Off the Resort. It's a brochure called Off the Resort.
Off the resort.
Correct.
Off the resort. Okay.
And if you go to a resort and not visit the local area, have you really visited the island?
No.
Because you can
be anywhere.
Yeah, you can blindfold yourself and be in Florida.
Yes.
Or be in a Texas resort. But when you come here, what I'm trying to do is the people that visit the resorts, if they want to go out and do something off the resort, meet the people, mingle with the community, I give them opportunities, I give them resources on how to do that. And that's all plugged into Off the Resort brochure. It gives them information on, we've even got real estate in there, mm-hmm. A little real estate in there. It gives you shopping off the resort. So for an Airbnb visitor, when they see that, immediately it stimulates their mind and, oh, these are all the things we can do. It talks about excursions. It's got, I think this one has Punta Cana Podcast on there. This is something local that you can see, that you can do. Local websites on here that you can visit. It's got hospital information, because sometimes people get hurt.
Yes.
On vacation. Yep. It's got hospital information in there, all good information that you'll need immediately. It's got the new tourism police. What do you call those guys?
Politour.
Politour. It's got information on Politour. Mm. It's got rental car information. And so you can find that particular brochure. They're out right now. Mm-hmm. So, and that's actually why I flew back down here, to get them into local businesses and rental car agencies. They're going to be all over. They're going to be in the airports. They're going to be everywhere. So I started that. Actually, that was in the works for about, I don't know, maybe more than a year, a long time. And I said, wait, is anybody doing this? It's
no.
Because everybody's in the technology age and they're online and this and that. Yeah, we can search that, but to have it right in front of you. If you want to do an excursion, Sanoa Island is a big place that people want to go. All that information is there too. So it's just packed full of information. So it's called Off the Resort, OTR, Off the Resort Punta Cana.
Okay.
And stay tuned. We're going to be doing Puerto Plata pretty soon.
Okay.
And then we're going to be going overseas as well.
Excellent.
In Mexico, places like that.
Excellent. So you've heard it here first. off the resort, born in Punta Cana, but growing
Right.
internationally.
Born in Punta Cana, and we're going to be doing advertising as well. If you want to get your business in, you can give me a WhatsApp call, 860-922-4822, or for businesses, if you want to reach us by email, it's OTR, that's off the resort, otrpuntacana@gmail.com.
Okay, there you have it. That's where you get your information.
Right.
Hi, are you a U.S. veteran looking for a change for the better? If so, join us on our monthly tours to Punta Cana for veterans. We have lots in store for you. Click the link in the description. Now, back to the episode. Sounds like you're well on your journey to becoming a full-fledged expat here. I have a couple of questions for you, though.
Sure.
Have you looked into residency?
Not yet, but I'm not too worried about that because I'll take that on within right around the 6-month point of my retirement.
6 months before, get that done.
Right.
And things like bank accounts.
Yeah, that was we've had a bank account here for probably almost as long as we've been together, my wife and I.
Okay.
But yeah, so we've had a bank account here a long time.
Okay, back when it was easy. Now it's a little bit more involved.
Yeah, now actually we've gotten a couple more bank accounts, and you've got to go places, you have to take pictures, you have to get things signed, your parents, firstborn, different things. It's streamlined though. It's a lot easier actually now. Now it's a lot easier, I think. Although they ask a lot of questions though.
Yeah.
And if you have the answers, it will not be a problem.
Right. Yeah, and these are some of the things back in the day when I first moved here. It was like come in with your ID and $300, but because of anti-money laundering laws and some of those things,
Punta Cana being so welcoming, who knows? People can take advantage of that. And
yes.
Like you said, launder money, different things.
Yes.
So they ask the right questions. They ask for check stubs and things like along those lines.
Yes.
We've been through all that. Yeah.
Yes. So as long as you are a lawful citizen, you should have no problem opening a bank account, right?
I have no problem.
But if you are on the wrong side of the tracks, you may not have success because they check.
And that's a good thing.
Yes.
And that's a good thing.
That's a good thing,
eyes,
really.
That's a very good thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The banks down here, though, you have to adjust to certain things down in the Dominican Republic. The banks down here, the hours, the communication among banks, to me, is lacking just a little bit. But aside from that, I think everything's fine. It's on the up and up.
Yes.
Here. Everything's on the up and up here.
Yeah, I can definitely say that everyday life here gets easier and easier over time. It has gotten easier.
And one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to come to Dominican Republic and make it the United States because I'd stay in the United States if I needed that.
Right.
So that's why I like things the way they are here. Everything about the Dominican Republic I like.
Yes.
Aside from the driving.
Yeah, well, the driving's not going to get much better because now there's more traffic.
I know, more and more traffic every single day. They drive fast out here and aggressive.
Yes.
But I'm saying you drive fast, yet you're always late. What?
Yes. It's a thing. It is a real phenomenon.
Where are you in a hurry to go, and why aren't you there on time? Going 100 miles.
Well,
but that's a whole different story.
This is that military background. Yeah. If you're on time, you're late.
You're late.
So I'm learning about that.
You know what time I got here? I got here 20 minutes early.
Yeah, you got here yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
But this is the islands.
Right.
So there's a thing.
And I'm good with that, actually.
Called island time.
I am good with that.
It's real.
I'm from the island, so
Yes.
I know what island time is.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, they're on island time, but when they get in the car, they want to get there right away, like instantly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What? You got to deal with it, though.
Yeah. Well, for me, I definitely would rather drive in this environment than to drive on the wrong side of the road, which is why I originally didn't decide on Jamaica because I couldn't figure driving into ongoing traffic.
Well, you know what? I've never driven in St. Lucia or Barbados. I've never driven there.
Is it on the left side?
They are on the wrong side.
Exactly, the wrong side.
So-called wrong side, right. They drive, England.
Yeah.
The whole nine.
So another plus for Punta Cana is we drive on the right side, but very aggressively.
Right.
I didn't say we, but
We all have to do it. If you're here, you got to do it. You kind of got to take it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're in the process of buying properties. You've bought properties. You're buying other properties.
Right.
How has the buying process been?
It's been with you. It's been awesome, every step of the way. The other process. It was a pre-construction as well, and that wasn't too bad at all. This experience here is a lot smoother. The down payment, the monthly payments, this, that, everything is a lot smoother. The support as it comes to lawyers and everything, and that's why I would tell anyone that's thinking about buying right now nothing against the one-off real estate agents, because down here I think anyone can call themselves a real estate agent, right?
Yeah.
Right. You can just come here and say I'm selling houses. Like I said, no disrespect to the one-off real estate agents. I would suggest, especially coming from overseas, you would need a team. You would need a team that has all of the answers.
Yes.
An office, lawyers, and whether it be electricians, plumbers, different things that whether you're going to buy a new construction or already built house, you need someone with all of that knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would definitely agree with you on that. And for me, I really like working with a team and having a team because everybody has their piece. Everybody has their role. And it's not like any one person has to be like Bugs Bunny, like
Right.
first base, second base.
Right.
You don't have to do so many things. Just be really good at the part that you do. And that way, we really can cover a lot of bases and make sure that our expertise goes deep and where we need it to be.
I can see the military coming out of you right now because I tell you what, that's exactly how we do it in the military.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you learned that from your father.
I got it honest, I
Yeah,
guess.
you got
as they
that. You
say.
got that from your father, and the way you run your operation down here, it's just perfect. Because a lot of times I don't even need to talk. Although I can call you direct if I really wanted to, I don't even need to talk to you. I'll talk to a team member. I'll just, anyone will call me or email me and say, "Hey, we have this, we have that, we have that." The funny thing about this whole situation here is, and I heard it from a little birdie, our project is probably almost sold out.
Yes, it's
almost
doing
sold
really
out.
well. Sun Village.
And I was a part of that, and I was instrumental in choosing my own neighbors.
Yes, that is wonderful
That was a
because
big deal.
you're out there talking about Sun Village, and even to people who are calling you just because they know that you're a veteran
Yes.
or that you're American, that you've done some different videos with me,
Right,
even
right.
announcing the Veterans Tour,
Right.
which is what we really came closely together on. And now I'm really proud to say that the veteran community here is growing.
Right. I'm happy I got to choose my own neighbors, and I spread the word every day back in the U.S. I even give them examples. Guys trip that you guys take to Brazil or you take to Jamaica or this and that. How much is that? I ask, how much is that? So, well, I got to pay, I don't know, $1,000 for airfare. I've got to do this, do that. Well, okay, how many of you guys? Well, there's 10 of us. Well, yeah, I can count and do the math, carry the 4. That's 25 grand right there.
Wow.
You guys got more than a condo down in DR right now.
Wow.
You guys have got more than a condo right now. You guys get together, you're probably paying, maybe, let's say $1,000 each. $300 each, you easily got a down payment.
Yes.
You easily got a down payment. And 1,000, maybe 500 a month, this, that, for some, maybe pre-construction, something along those lines. Now, 10 of you guys own an Airbnb.
Yes.
Which you really don't need the money. You don't need the money from the Airbnb. So the Airbnb, the profits from the Airbnb,
Can buy another
can
property.
buy another property.
Yes.
I try to line these guys up with this. I mean, a team effort in the military, they should know that.
Yes.
That's why I get them. As a matter of fact, one of our guys, they did buy it together, didn't they?
Yeah.
Didn't a couple of
There are several that
Yes,
are coming together with
pooling some
groups.
money, right.
And for me, I think that's great because with military folks, there is that trust.
Yeah.
There's that
Yes,
brotherhood.
yes.
It's like, let's do it together. Let's go in on it together. And we have a structure here that allows them to do that, which is buying under a company. So what you would do is establish a Dominican company.
Right.
And that everybody owns their corresponding shares. It could
Right.
be equal shares or a different amount of shares if there's a different amount that's invested. And the company actually would own the investment, and the shareholders can change behind the scenes.
I tell you what, this is the first time I'm hearing this.
Really?
I didn't know that.
Okay, well, now this is something else you can let
Right,
them know,
right.
that it is very easy to invest with groups. You establish a Dominican company with a lawyer, a trusted
Right,
lawyer,
right.
and then you have the business. The company's name is on the title. So the company owns the title. So if people want to sell their shares, bring in other partners, or play behind the scenes, it's not a problem because the company still has the name on the title.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it could be set up to where the income goes into a general account, and then the owners decide what they want to do with it, whether to distribute it or, like you said, put it into another investment,
Right.
and then continue to grow investments. And also, companies, once they're established, then they can build credit, and then the company itself can get loans to finance other investments as well.
That'll most likely be my next move.
Okay, there you go.
Like I said, I did
We
not know
have
that.
business going on
Yeah,
here live on the
I did not
podcast.
know that.
Yes, so
Right.
you can be a lead and bring in partners.
Good.
And work like that.
That'll be our next private conversation.
You have dreamed of the perfect Caribbean beach lifestyle. With Boardwalk Developments, we have the blueprint for you in this tropical paradise. Celebrate incredible returns when you elevate your investment portfolio with the hottest real estate in Punta Cana. Invest wisely, live lavishly. We'll show you how. Contact Boardwalk Developments, Punta Cana.
We were talking about the buying process once again. Mine is it's going smooth. I'm still in the process right now, so it's smoothly. You know, everything, I cannot complain about anything.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
very
awesome.
good,
And
very
I
good.
thank you for that.
Well,
Yep.
it's our pleasure and our honor to do business with you and to do our best, because that is our vision and our goal, is to make this process smooth for people, especially considering that many people don't speak Spanish.
Right.
This is a Spanish-speaking country.
Right.
But the nice thing is that you don't have to feel like you have to speak Spanish to come here, do business here, move here, or anything like that.
How was your Spanish when you moved here?
I couldn't speak Spanish at all.
But you know what, though? I have always been interested
Zero.
in Spanish ever since I was a little kid. So my Spanish has always been at a certain level. It has increased a lot. Of course, meeting my wife and coming in and out of Dominican Republic. But unless you are here, you know, when I get here, it comes out. You know, but when I'm back home, you don't speak it to anyone. So
So your Spanish, how is your Spanish?
I'll give it, you know, I was asked that question earlier. I give it about 40%.
40%?
Yeah.
That's good.
A little bit.
That's good.
Good.
That's good. And up to 100, right?
Yeah, between 40 and 100. Between, from 1
No,
to
but I'm
100.
saying you're
Oh,
on your way to 100.
Oh, of course. Oh, of course. And you know what? I can if I applied myself.
Okay.
But like I said, being back home, you don't talk, you know, because my wife, when I met her, she was more focused on speaking English.
Right.
So I'm helping her with her English when
Right.
she should have been helping me with my Spanish.
Well, when you move here, then you can immerse yourself,
Right. I'm
and
not
it'll
in a
go
rush.
more.
And that's the same reason why a lot of people ask me, hey, have you been to Sauna Island or have you been to different things? Nope, I'm planning my retirement and I'm planning to hold all those excursions until I get here. So I'll have, you know, something to keep me busy every day.
Well,
at the place.
let me just say this. My biased opinion is it's not Punta Cana.
Really?
So let me just say that on the record. I'm on the record
That's what
saying that.
Samana, that's what Samana says about us, right, too.
You can go anywhere in the country. Nothing is like Punta Cana.
Right.
Punta Cana is home. So
I like it. I love everything about Punta Cana.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Me
people,
too.
the beaches, just the vibe on a whole,
Yes.
the hustle. You know, you see people. It's going to be funny because even on vacation, right? I'm not really on vacation. This is actually a business trip, but, you know, it's funny to just see the everyday movement of people going to work, their lunch breaks, how they take them. Long hours, though, I think, right?
what do you see?
I think I see maybe like 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or
Is that
8
long?
to 6 to me.
That's kind of normal.
Is it?
But you're in what, high risk jobs?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
what
Yeah,
are your
mine is even longer, but I would think because you're in the island, you probably work 4 hours and go to
maybe
the
that's
beach.
all the productivity. Maybe productivity is
Productivity is
different
3
from
hours.
spending time. So
right.
let's be clear about that. But
And not to forget about the security down here. A lot of people think about security down here and safety. I haven't had to worry about a thing down here. As far as, you know, I walk at night, you know, I'm all over the place down here. And I just pop up in places that people wouldn't expect. My wife calls me 3-4 times a day. How you doing? How you doing? Just stop calling. I'm good. I am good.
She's worried about you.
Yeah, for some reason.
Military guy in law enforcement.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
She doesn't have to worry about you.
No, I'm good down here. But yeah, and don't worry about safety at all. This place is very, very safe. Very
Yeah,
safe.
I feel safe here too.
And as far as investment, you mentioned earlier, there's no time like the present. Because when I bought my first property down here, I mean, we're not going to discuss money here, but a significant profit since when I bought my first one.
Yeah.
And everything's going up right now.
But the percentage
time.
is pretty good, like over 50% or something.
I mean, my current property right now, the one that I have at Sun Village, that has already made profit.
Yeah, it has. And let me tell you something. The prices will be going up again.
Really?
Yes, very soon.
Yeah,
So if you know folks who are interested in investing, or if any of you are interested in investing, check. If there is still availability, you may want to seriously consider making an investment if there might be anything left by the time you see this episode, but the prices are definitely increasing. And if not, we have other inventory, so let us know. The investments are good, and they've always been good here since I first moved here. I've made many investments. I mean, I can say I've built my fortune here through real estate, buying and selling properties, land, building, all of it, renting, a little bit of everything. So it depends on what folks are interested in. Anything you might be interested in, you can actually find here. If it's land, construction, new construction, existing construction, whatever, what have you.
Good. I'm glad we're connected, so you can help me out when I get down here.
Yes, I can help you out anytime, even before.
Exactly.
You don't have to be here to invest too,
I
really.
appreciate it.
Now is the time to really start having those conversations in preparation for a potential move. So I think it's really great that you've decided to come down and make your investments and prepare and plan for the future.
Right.
Yeah, and what I can say is I feel very proud that some of my early buyers back in 2006, 7, 8, even through 2010, 15, who were anticipating retirement in the next 10 years, even some folks who were looking 15 years out, they're retired.
Right.
And they've moved into their home, or they've bought another one like you have. It's almost like once you have one, you really want another one, and you want a portfolio of different investment properties. Yes, it does.
So, it pays.
Yes, it does.
So I encourage everyone to, if you're thinking about it, or if you're on the fence about investing down here in Punta Cana, I suggest jump into it.
Yes.
Jump in now.
What would be some tips that you would give to folks who are looking to transition down here and move down?
My biggest tip is, if this is not the place you're going to be, if you're looking for that investment, my tip would just be, just like you mentioned, partnering.
Okay.
You gave me some great information there as far as partnering with folks. I've got cousins that wouldn't mind just investing in a business like this, because they won't necessarily be coming down here, but they'd like to be a part of the investment. So that's one thing that I'd like people to do, is a lot of times people don't have that extra cash to spend.
Right.
And I don't hold that against anyone, but combined you can make it happen.
Yes.
If you want to get rich in real estate, download my PDF.
What would you say to someone who is looking to move from a personal standpoint?
You got to understand that you're living on an island. And as far as that, Amazon, although they're getting a whole lot better, that quick Amazon, because I remember at home, we order something from Amazon today, we can get it tomorrow. Yeah, it's not like that here. Not as fast, not yet. But they're moving towards that, though.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that we've recently gotten a package within 3 days.
That's a big deal.
That is a big deal. My daughter loves some Amazon and Shein and all the rest of that.
Yes.
And
Temu,
oh my gosh, she's always ordering stuff. And it used to take over a week for us to get things from Amazon. I mean, we didn't expect to see it for at least a week to 9-10 days. And now I'm surprised that things are coming very fast. So processes are getting smoother.
What I'm basically getting at is that be cultured and expect things, you know,
that
like
it's not going to be perfect. It's not Kansas, you know, it's not back home.
Yeah. A lot of things, they're on island time.
Yes.
You know, and it's one of those things where you got to kind of figure out what island time is.
It's real. Island time is real.
But you know who may or would have the hardest time with that and don't have a hard time with it? It's the veterans.
Right.
Yeah, the veterans understand.
Right.
You know, they come down here and they understand because back in the military, it has to be like this.
Yes.
But down here, they just kick back. I'm retired.
So what is that, though? Because if the military is like this, how do the military folks
Well, the thing is because of travel. Because the military, we travel everywhere in the world.
Yes.
So we know places all over.
Yes.
We know how things are in different places.
Yes.
So nothing surprises us anywhere. Like Punta Cana is just another stop. They're all over Europe, you know, all over the world.
Yes.
So Punta Cana is just like another stop.
I agree.
And they're adventurous as well.
Yes.
So
I would definitely agree with that. And I've heard people say that this reminds them of Italy or reminds them of other places they've been.
Philippines and places like that.
So there's that perspective.
Right.
Also, the language, more open to languages.
Right.
I've met people who come with some foundation in other languages. I mean, I did because of my military background. German.
Okay,
I used to live in Germany. Good. So that gave me a base to learn Spanish when I moved here. And I knew that I could too.
Right.
So that's a part of it. It's like, I can learn. And I did.
How's your Spanish? Are you at 100 yet?
Yeah, I could say that. I can. Well, Dominican. I speak. Hablo Dominican. There is Dominican, and then there's Spanish. Okay. So it's like English from the Queensland, and then there's
Bronx, New York.
There you go. There you go.
Right.
Period.
Right.
As a part of our podcast, we like to take a question from our community. So choose one, and I will ask you.
Okay. Let me see here. There's so many. Hold on a second.
Just one.
All right. Here you go.
How many questions do you want to answer, Steve? Steve Love.
I got all night.
Okay, here's the question. What would you do different in the process of moving to Punta Cana? Oh, any learnings?
Of moving?
What would you change?
Not much. What I would do is I would have saved more and bought more property.
Ooh.
When I had the opportunity to way back. And the reason why I say that is when you got here, I think they were probably selling condos for 20 grand.
They were quite inexpensive.
Right.
Quite
so
inexpensive.
I would have, I wish I had known, just like in the United States. I mean, you guys may or may not know that we had that housing boom a couple years ago where right now, you know, 50%, people got 50% of their homes right now. It's just one of those things that you wish you had known. And my house is built in, I think, 1970 right now. And they paid, I think, $15,000 for my house when it was built, which tells you that real estate is not going anywhere.
No.
So I wish I would have bought more.
Okay.
Right, earlier. So right now, if you think $100,000 is a lot, wait 5 years.
Yes. So the moral of the story is do what you can and don't wait if you don't have to.
Right now.
Because why not? I mean, literally one of my projects, the prices will go up at the end of this month. So as we're speaking, things are moving. And this is the way things have been. Yeah. Since I've moved here, it's just been a constant progression and growth and will continue. Definitely will continue because Punta Cana continues to be on the up and up.
I actually want to sell my house to buy a couple more, but my wife won't let me. My wife won't let me.
I can make you I can refer you to. Oh, your wife. Okay, well, keep the house, Steve.
Right.
Keep wifey happy.
Right,
you know, get a side job if you need to. Get some friends.
Yes.
Bring some friends together. Buy some properties.
One of my only regrets, though.
Okay.
Not buying more, actually.
Yeah, and that's pretty common. I mean, I wish I did more. I mean, we all have that magic wand, or what do you call it? That looking glass. That hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
But what we can do is make that move now and today.
Foresight is 100%.
That's right.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for being a part of the Punta Cana podcast.
I appreciate you all for having me here.
Yes.
Like I said, I knew I was going to be here one of these days.
And
thank you very much. And here we are.
Thought, word, deed. Thank you so much for being a part of this episode of Punta Cana Podcast. Please be sure to hit subscribe because we have new episodes coming out every week with great guests telling their stories, their expat journeys. And we are also going to follow your journey, Steve. So we will definitely have you back after you're retired.
I'll let you know every step of the way. I'll let the people know, because if there are people sitting on the sidelines right now, you can use me as a test subject and to see what actually happens in the buying process and the moving process. So
excellent.
I appreciate it.
Excellent. We'll have you back to tell your story.
Definitely.
Thank you for being a part of the Punta Cana Podcast, and we'll see you next time.